We just almost witnessed the best comeback in Valorant history. And I don't think that's an exaggeration. Paper Rex were up 11-1. Then Liquid came storming back, but how? And most importantly, how did they fall in the most crucial moments? I'm wrecked and 97% of you aren't subscribed. So go ahead and sub so I can get 1K by the end of the year. And let's take a look here at how the greatest comeback of all time fell just short. Everyone thought it was over, honestly, including me. 11-1 is a comeback that is historic and would be if they were able to close it out. Now Paper Rex are going to just go ahead and say we're going to rush C. Obviously the game's over. They're laughing. Right? They are laughing for about 5 more rounds after that. Just having fun the Paper Rex way because the game is supposed to already be over. Kiko gets some kills, but hey, who cares that they won the pistol, right? Who cares? He just got his VLR rating up. That's all it was. 11-2. And finally, time for the last nothing burger of a round. Paper Rex go ahead and win this round here. It was their bye round. You're expected to win, right? Even though Liquid did have some decent weapons. Everyone either had a Guardian or a Vandal. Paper Rex did a great job of putting the weak weapon of the Judge into a position where it's the stronger weapon right there. Then Nats, who sadly wasn't really able to frag as much as normal this event, but this game he was kind of off. I don't know if it was some late jet lag or what, but he was definitely, performing lower than his normal standards would be in this event right here. Also, could have been the fact that calling against Paper Rex is really, really difficult. But 12-3. So let's watch the comeback now into the actual comeback here. It does not look good for Liquid already. You have a Marshall Light Shield. You're scraping together some of these buys here against a Paper Rex team that not only has weaponry, but also Jing's Showstopper. It already looks over before it begins. And that is only just tripled down when you instantly get the game. And when I say instantly, I literally mean within the first 5 seconds turn into a 3v5 on a 3-sided map that you're defending when you have a Marshal on one of the guys who survived. Not only that, your Sentinel, one of the only people who's able to actually hold down C, is now dead. C is completely open and you look cooked. But as he did in so many other situations, Kamo stepped up. He did this on other maps. On Split, he fake cloned into a Viper pit. Here he gets 2 to make it somewhat reasonable that they're able to get this done. Then Penny, thankfully the guy with the gun is able to get the kill. Now Patatek able to recover a gun as well. Now you're in a 2v2. The Showstopper gets burned by Jing on site. Now you have to wait. What I really love here is both of these Liquid players, they are not scared right here. Right? There are a lot of people who would be playing scared, and you will see in fact one of the very players right here, nerves get to him. Probably losing the game eventually, but right now they're, hey, we're having fun. Right? We're supposed to lose this, but we're going to play our game. We're not going to play scared. We're going to make this a 1v1 here. Now Penny is going to go, as I just said, 1 for 1. Now in the 1v1, pad attack again. No nerves this time, but this spot will be very important later. If you've already seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, just stick around. I'm not going to stop talking about flow state because I truly believe in it. This stuff is the real deal. And again, if you don't believe me, that's fine. I'm not a good ranked player, but these guys are very good at the game. Now, on the next run, if you'll notice, Paper Rex have first off Patman on the Sheriff, and then some light armor here, and like this is something that you look back on and go, well, maybe they should have saved in the moment. I don't think it's something anyone's going to really complain about. Now, if it was more of a kind of disjointed buy, I could see it, but it's one Sheriff, and with what ends up happening, it doesn't matter anyways. But again, if you want to technically be playing perfect Valorant, you might have saved here. Kamo, though, steps up, gets 4, shuts it down. Now 12-5. And in FNS's chat, the jokes, let me tell you, they were rolling. Echo round here for Paper Rex. And while you watch this in the background, I do want to say the comp from Liquid was atrocious. And when I say atrocious, I truly mean atrocious. Waylay should not be played anywhere near the Tier 1 level. I think G2 have proven that even with all their firepower, the Waylay comp still is not good as it would be with a Yoru. Heck, even with a Jet. And I truly think that if the Yoru was played here for Liquid, it would have had a different outcome on the game. I don't know if they would have won, but I do think that they would have been in a better situation overall. Anyways, 12 to 6. Let's take a look at the next round. Subscribe. Now, if you're Liquid, this round has you very worried. Paper Rex have two massive ultimates online, and they're one away from the Yoru ult. So you're very concerned about just them kind of brute forcing the game with ults. You'll see that happen a lot when teams have big leads and they want to play more disciplined. They'll just wait, lose a couple rounds, gather up all orbs, and just force around with their high-impact ultimates. And now you're worried about that happening to you if you're Liquid. But this fake works beautifully right here with the Yoru. Again, Yoru's very good at manipulating rotations. Lot better of an agent overall than Waylay, but Jing goes 1 for 1 right there. Now everyone on Liquid is scrambling because that Yoru did such a good job at faking towards A. Now, I do want to talk about this Omen because honestly, it's really cool. Right here, Omen used to get out of the way here. The issue for Paper Rex is that something still dies, but I just thought it was really cool. Honestly, now you're in 3v4. They go ahead, they reset. Bomb is over towards A, but Patatek isn't peeking. He's just waiting and waiting and waiting, not wanting to risk giving up the numbers advantage. So Forsaken goes, okay, I'll go right back into B. We can plant. We can chill and we can try and win here. You do still have Davai ultimate here, but again, Kamo saved them so many times, right? If you've watched this game live, then you know that Kamo has been their savior. Right there, when Forsaken got caught with his knife out, Kamo gets that kill. Then Kamo is able to get yet another kill right here. And for the ace, he kills Patman, 12 to 7. And now is when you start to wonder. You may not start to believe, but you do start to wonder, huh? Is this possible? I talked about Old Nothing before, and now it's a concern again. You have the Yoru, the Showstopper, and the Vise online here. While for Liquid, all you have is that Omen from Kiko. So there is a very real chance that Paper Rex could just brute force it with the ultimate. As you see here, Yoru used to clear out all of sight. It even in fact is able to show, hey, Penny is up in the smoke right here. As you can see from that ping, they know it, but they don't act on it. And you'll see what I mean in a second when you look at the kill feed. But Penny ends up getting 2 after that whiff from Patatek. Maybe a foreshadowing of things to come, but 1, 2, skip a few, 3v5 scenario now. And I love what he does right here. By the way, Penny is a guy who just got added to Liquid. He's a YFP player. If you don't know who that is, they're an American Tier 2 organization. He was literally just added as a sub for Liquid. And he's performed remarkably well considering the circumstances, but more than that, he's been willing to be a selfless player. This right here, and I know it may not seem like a lot to you, this is a bait peek. This is a peek so that Nat or whoever else is someone that's actually able to get the kill. He's trying to draw something's crosshair so that someone else gets this kill. As you can see right there, that is the true definition of a selfless player. Someone who's not playing for stats, someone who's not playing to go, hey, we lost, but I did well. Some other Tier 1 team picked me up. He's playing for the win and for his teammates, and that truly is something that really shows a player. It makes me really like a player. Davai, unable to clutch, although he did get me worried for a second there. 12 to 9, and you start believing in the back of your head that something might actually be going on, that you might be witnessing history. Now, I'm not covering this full round, but I do want to talk about how good Liquid, specifically Nats, but in this instance, Pat have been at situationally using the Outlaw. Probably one of the best teams that I can remember. You get a free first blood there because, again, every single Paper Rex player had light shields on this round. Free first blood against a team that can be very dangerous and feisty on those eco rounds. Just a big shout out to the coaches and obviously the players for realizing when they are in a situation where it can be advantageous to go ahead and use that Outlaw. Probably should have been a kill there from Jing. I don't know what happened there. The Bucky is broken now. Here you can see why Liquid kind of believed in this way. They're doing this ult setup right here over on B. They've done it before in previous games if I recall correctly. And I could be just incorrect there, but I still think it's a bad pick to be perfectly honest with you. However, I want you to listen at the end of this to what the coach of Paper Rex says, because this should be the Paper X win, right? If you don't win this round, it's probably over. This was your bye round. 4v3 scenario, and Paper Rex seemed kind of lost or at least uncertain about where they want to go and what they want to do here. The haunt gets used, and now you would have to go into sight off of one Prowler. That's all of the info you have from your solo initiator right now, and it does end up costing them. As you can see, something ends up dying because he's looking up trying to break the cam. It's a retake cam that's up there, and Paper Rex called for the save here. It is also just really cool to see the reactions. Obviously, esports is very emotional, but it is kind of interesting to see these knowing that Liquid end up losing. So let's go ahead and look at what you've all probably been waiting for, and check how history was altered by one whiff. Patatek is left in a 1v3 scenario here and is able to get it down to a 1v1 scenario in overtime. He has his Fatal, he has the bomb, he has a free sight. He initially plays this very, very well. Granted, the Fatal is a bit questionable. It's obviously probably better to save that for post, but he wanted to use it for info. Anyways, Patatek here is jiggling right here, and he almost is able to clutch this out. If you'll notice the second that he sees Forsaken on his screen, he then flicks over and shoots, but he's so used to jiggling that he shoots the wall because he's been jiggling and he didn't stop his movement. So he ends up shooting the wall there and then just kind of a half. I'm putting my eye out. I'm jiggling for info. I don't know what I'm doing. That ends up changing the course of the game. And if you saw it back here, his head goes into his hands right there for that split second you're able to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to subscribe so I can hit 1K. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you another time. Peace.